Welcome back to part 2 of our Meet the Team series with Warner Lowry, founder of WL Costa Properties. Welcome back, Warner.
It's good to be back.
So today I want to talk a little bit more about why you do what you do. What makes you get up every morning? So what's the why behind what you do and WL Costa Properties?
For me, I love finding people's dream homes in the sun. From the start of their journey where they have a dream to the end of it when they find their property and they just spend that first couple of days there, and that experience, I think it's like a striker playing for a new team and scoring the goal. It's just that experience is really why I do it. And obviously I love real estate. I have a passion for real estate. I always have had a passion for real estate. And it gives me an opportunity to live this amazing life in the Costa del Sol with you and my family, and to live in this amazing country. So it's a win-win situation for me.
I love that. And you are really passionate about real estate and what you do. And in the evenings when we wind down from work and the kids are maybe just chilling, doing their homework, and we're cleaning up after dinner, you're constantly showing me properties on the market. Oh, look at this one, Sandra. Oh, this one looks amazing. Look what's just come on the market. Like, it is a never-ending discussion in our house, like properties, looking at different properties, how the market is evolving, specifically what's happening on the Costa del Sol and in our hometown of Benalmadena.
That's my hobby.
Yeah, and I love it. I do love it, but it is constant. I think you have two passions in life, real estate and the weather.
Yeah.
You're always talking about the weather. Why is that?
I think growing up in Glasgow, it was always raining. So it was really, I don't know, I was just infatuated by the weather. I look at the weather and what's going to happen. And a lot of people, when they're living in the UK, I always kind of go, oh yeah, it's sunny here, but oh, it's going to be raining, or there's a storm coming your way. I get like a satisfaction from that.
It's a bit dark. But yeah, you're constantly talking about real estate, so I agree with that. That definitely makes sense, but the weather. So I guess it also makes sense then that you live in a beautiful, warm climate, like what you experience here on the Costa del Sol. Let's talk a little bit about the clients and the support that you give them. What is different about what you do to the hundreds of other real estates in Benalmadena and on the Costa del Sol?
I think with us it's, always working with family businesses, you're always going to get that personal touch. When you come in, have a cup of tea or anything like that, or if you've been watching us on YouTube or listening to our podcast and all that, it's all about family, and people get to know us. So it's really important when they get to know us that we do what we say on the tin. We make sure they have the best legal advice. We make sure, they've got the currency. We make sure if they need finance, we give them all the information that they need, so that they can be comfortable with us and they know that we are the right real estate agent for them.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you're great at supporting through the sale of the property, but I am obsessed with follow-up and professionalism and detail. So I get personally offended if I feel that we've missed a trick for a client. Now, the clients may not always see that. I'm talking about our own processes, doing things right and surprising and delighting and going above and beyond. And I guess that's my corporate background and working to those high expectations and high target-driven environments. But I'm really, really tough on Warner and the team when I feel that like we've missed a beat. And it's constantly for me as well after every transaction with a client, and I hate to call it that because it isn't a transaction, so much more of it goes into that, but once every transaction is concluded with a client where they've purchased their property and they've been to the notary and everything has been exchanged, in our sales meeting weekly we're sitting down and we're actually doing a post-mortem, I know that's a negative word, on that sale transaction and really picking it apart to see what we could do differently, how we can be better, how we can be more agile. And I know that drives you nuts about me because it's like you're constantly striving for more and when will it stop? But for me, that will never stop because we can always be better. We can always deliver more. And for me, that's just really about making sure we always exceed our clients' expectations, but also that we're super agile and never leaving anything on the table when it comes to a customer interaction, transaction going exceedingly well.
Anybody can go out and, go to a property and say, oh yeah, that's great. The easiest part, as I always say in the sale, is to get the sale agreed. The hardest part is to get it all the way to the notary where the client is comfortable that this is the one for them.
Yeah. So like when I wake up in the morning and we're having our sales meetings in the morning, we're looking through, what interactions with clients have we got on the table this week. I'm almost trying to put myself in their head going, what are they going to be thinking about now that we need to follow up on to make sure that we're a step ahead of them so that they feel constantly comfortable and supported in our company. And that's so bloody important to me. And I get so upset when I feel that we've missed a beat with it. And you're like, just relax. Life happens and things happen. But I'm always trying to make sure that we go above and beyond. And sometimes that's difficult and it puts a lot of pressure on you guys because things will play out as they play out. But it's just super important that we always deliver and follow up and do what we say that we'll do.
Yeah, and sometimes we could have 5 or 6 deals in process at the one time. So it's very difficult for one person or to kind of always navigate that. So it's really good that you're the back end of it. And I think sometimes you're a bit psychic. You just come up and say, oh, we need to do this. And then before you know it, the client contacts us and you're like, yeah.
Call it women's intuition, call it talent. Say what you will, but I really think that's I had a very experienced career before I started to work in the family business, and my job was to keep multinational, multi-million euro clients happy, and it gave me the best training for this job because it doesn't matter what type of interaction you're interacting with. You always want to ensure that you exceed and you go above and beyond, and you never want your client to come back to you disappointed, or you never want a client to come back to you to feel that you've rested on your laurels and you haven't followed up. But sometimes it does happen because we have multiple different stakeholders involved in a transaction, and we might say, well, okay, this is where we sign off and this stakeholder takes over, but that stakeholder might have had a stumbling block and not followed up and we'll take the brunt. But if that's the case, so be it, because we have to be a united front, all stakeholders included, to ensure that we get the job done. But yeah, for me, it's always about ensuring that we go above and beyond and nothing is missed. So much so that it becomes an obsession. You have to be obsessed with your customers. You really have to be completely obsessed with the fact that they get the best from you.
And they have to know as well that they trust you 100%, because if there's any doubt there, then it's going to be a lot more difficult to get the deal over the line because that doubt is nagging at them. So it's really important for anybody looking to buy a property that they really gel with their agency that they're working with, and they're really check their testimonials, who they've been working with before, and even ask for them to give them a number of somebody that's already bought with them, just to hear that person, because people like to hear real people telling them, yeah, we bought and this was what happened and everything else, and it just cements that trust. And that the agent that you're working with is the one that you trust them 100%.
Totally agree. And it's not always roses or daisies in the garden either. Sometimes, we have to have conversations with our clients that we don't always want to have, particularly around location or budget expectations. That's the common one. And we just try to be super respectful and honest and ensure that we get there in the end. But, those conversations need to be had as well. And I think what I like to think about those conversations is nobody wants to have those conversations because sometimes you run the risk of disappointing somebody. But that conversation has to be had with a view of getting to the end goal, right? You need to do that for trust to be built along the way. If you think about every successful relationship in your life, you have to have those honest conversations for the end goal to be reached.
No.
It's like me telling you to pick up your underpants every morning and put them in the washing machine. I don't like having those conversations with you all the time, but they have to be had for the harmony in the house to work. Those conversations sometimes have to happen with clients for their end goal to be achieved.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. If you're not comfortable in having those conversations, the client is going to come across that and you're going to have them anyway. So it's better to preempt them so that they say, oh yeah, Sandra told me this or Warner told me this. And they know when that situation, and it will come, that situation will come. And when they're there, they're more comfortable. And we've had those conversations with multiple clients that they kind of, yes, they have a dream, but when the dream kicks in, then the reality is that, you know, for this is your budget and this is what you're going to get. If you want something else, then you need to go and find more money and more budget.
And stop watching A Place in the Sun for 2021. You know,
you ain't going to get a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, big terrace for $250.
2021 prices, you know, the amount of conversations we have to have with people where they say, oh, I saw this on A Place in the Sun. I'm like, what year was it?
With a little wiggle room.
Listen to the experts on the ground. That's very, very important. And I guess for me, having those conversations from the right place, from a place of respect, from a place of integrity, with a view of always ensuring that the end goal will be achieved.
I believe there's a property for everybody, but the requirements and the expectation has to be downsized in order to find that.
And timing is so important as well. Timing is everything.
Yeah.
Could you do any other job?
No, I don't think. Well,
your hands are too soft anyway to be a tradesman. It's very clear when you look at my hands and your hands who does the harder work in our house.
Well, when I started my first job at 32, as you know, in Ireland, I started off helping little women, little ladies change the AV channel, and I built myself all the way up to team manager. So yeah, I can put as long as it's the kind of basis that I like, as you were my manager, so it was sometimes I'm unmanageable. But I like to be my own boss, as you said.
Oh, God, yeah, we won't go there. But you are very good with people.
Yes.
You know. But I have heard you described a little bit like Marmite. Like, people either do really like you or they don't like you at all. But I'm happy to say that 90% of the time, people really like you. But I guess I have that effect on people too as well, you know.
You're just not going to gel with everybody. It's just the way it is. Yeah. Some people gel with different people, but as you say, 90%. So 9 people out of 10
like you.
Like me.
1 doesn't. That's okay. I'm going to tell you a funny story now. My grandmother is, thank God, she's still alive and with us, and she's 88 years of age, and she's in a nursing home in Ireland. And we were on the phone to her on Saturday, and Warner was talking to her. And since the day that Warner has met her, like 17 years ago, she has never understood a word he has said. And what does she do? She just kind of looks at you and just...
What's she saying?
And on Saturday it was the same. You said, you still don't understand me. And she's like, no. So yeah, look, it could be that as well. So look, you couldn't do another job because you just love what you do.
Yeah, I just love what I do. I love making people's dreams reality. And when we go out in Benalmadena, I never have to pay for a drink or a meal.
That's not fair.
For all the people that we've sold properties to.
That's not true. You sound like an asshole there now. Okay. What do client experiences mean to you? So when you ensure that a client sells their property with you, or you find a buyer their dream property, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it means everything, because we're a listing agent and we list a lot of properties, and these sellers, they've had the property for 10, 15, 20 years, and they've had all the memories of their family coming, their friends and everything else, and now they're getting to an age where they have to sell because nobody's using it anymore. They can't really navigate the flying. So all those emotions are coming in. So it's really, really important for me that I make sure that it's not just a transaction. I make sure that from the start of when the sales process is, that they're updated, they're in contact with the lawyers, and just to make it so much easier for them. And maybe for that last holiday, maybe make sure that they're booking in the last holiday to say goodbye to the property and everything else. So it's really important for me, not only for finding the buyer to buy the property, but for selling that property, the emotions that comes with it. It's really important that, the customer goes away and they go away with good, positive.
We always ask our sellers, like when it's coming up to the days or the week before they're selling and they're over for their last trip and packing up their belongings, like, how are you feeling? Because it is emotional, and we'll hear answers back like, yeah, I'm sad because my grandson learned to walk in this living room, or my grandchildren holidayed here with us when they were babies. So there is an element of letting go of a lot of memories. And I think that's important, and it's very important to be respectful of that, because sometimes that can be overlooked when people are chasing the commission check, that this was a memory capsule for somebody for maybe a decade or 2 decades of their life. And a lot comes with that. There's a lot to unpack in that process. So it's often being a soundboard there from somebody as well, and just being a decent human by acknowledging what they might be going through in that moment.
Absolutely. It's so important, and everybody has a story. So it's so important that you listen to their story and how they bought it. And we've got so many stories that, the clients tell us, and it's just, some of them are remarkable, but at the end of the day, it is a business, and the business is to find a buyer and to sell the property. So in between that, you have all the emotions and everything else, but that's what makes the job rewarding, because then you sell the property, you make the money, and you get to live a lovely lifestyle in the Costa del Sol.
Yeah, but you can still run a good business and be a successful business person without being an arsehole and being a good human.
Yeah.
You can still make sure that you wake up every day and choose to do business in line with your values. Because I think that people smell authenticity faster than anything else, and they'll know if you're being genuine. So if you are operating from a place that's not in with integrity or compassion or for the best outcome for the other person, yes, I totally understand that. At the end of the day, the business transaction and I'm the one who runs the books in the business, so I know that better than anybody. But you can still do it from a good place.
As I said, I'm only as good as my last sale, and I've done how many? 500 sales probably.
I don't know, I need to look.
So every sale for me is so important for that feedback, that I get my 5-star Google review. So it doesn't matter where I've sold so many properties in the past, but it's the next sale for me that's going to make a difference. Because, for example, last year I sold the property in one complex, and before you know it, I had 3 sellers in the same complex that gave us it, because of the service that I gave them, the professionalism, and how quickly I sold it.
Yeah. Well, referrals and word of mouth are massive, particularly in a town like Benalmadena as well. Reputation is paramount. Totally
absolutely.
Agree. Any final words that you'd like to share before we wrap up today's therapy session?
WL Costa Properties started in 2017. I was a one-man band. Now we've grown thanks to yourself. We've got Juggling. We've just brought on Lindsay, and we just want to keep on growing and bring the values that we have to the company. We have a beautiful office here. We have the podcast, we have the YouTube. We have everybody that helps us deliver that service, and we hope to keep on delivering that service in 2026 and the years going by, and delivering more success for the business and for our family.
And watch this space in 2026, because it's going to be an exciting year. Thank you for stopping by. If you've liked this video, Remember to like and subscribe, and ciao for now.